In today's video, I'm going to be going over why your Artist CV is so important to your career as an artist. Let's jump right in. So before we can talk about why you need an artist CV, the first thing we should do is discuss what is an artist CV. You'll hear it tossed around a lot in the art community. I know for a while I thought it was the same thing as a resume. A CV is an acronym spelt out as the letters C and V. It stands for a Latin term, curriculum vitae. This directly translates to meaning course of life. So when you compare that to the French word resume, which translates to summary, we get a better understanding as to how these two documents differ from one another. The general rules: you want a resume to be short, exact, to the point, and most people prefer them to be 1 page or 2 pages as an absolute maximum. You want it to be short and succinct. When you start looking at an artist's CV, however, it's generally standard practice to have up to 4 pages. However, you could have it as short or as long as you see fit, and depending on the situation. So the first point, and probably the most obvious one that you'll find, is that an artist CV is an easy way to keep track of your career. It sounds ridiculous. I'm only a few years into my own career as a visual artist, and there are things that I've completely forgotten about. And then I look back at my artist CV and it's like, oh yeah, I did have an interview at that radio station, you know, and completely forgot about it. It sounds ridiculous. It's the same thing. You look back at old high school photos, you never think you're gonna forget some of the people's names, but you do. So it's a great way to keep track of all the things that are most important in your career. And it's an easy way to do that all in one spot. Oh, come here. Oh. Yo. What you want? And that's a key thing to stress as well, is that your artist CV is a living document. You're not just going to make it once and you're done. You're going to be updating it all the time. But you have to remember, each artist CV is not the same thing. Who is your CV for? Yes, it's your CV, but who are you dealing with? Are you a fine artist? Are you a sculptor? Are you a writer, perhaps? If you're a graphic designer, you could potentially customize your CV. It helps get your work in front of them a little better. It helps you stick out from the crowd. On the flip side, treat it completely as a business document. I try to put my best foot forward that I am a respectable artist. There's a bad reputation when you're dealing with visual artists, especially emerging artisans, that they concentrate a lot on the creative aspects, which is phenomenal. You have to have a product to sell. You have to have something to ship. My experience and what I've heard from jury selection committees for grants and such is that the business side, the paperwork side of things is often lacking. So you want to make sure you're presenting yourself professionally. A lot of that is going to depend on who is your CV for. If you're focusing more on the craft side of things, perhaps you want it to be a little more colorful, a little more fun. It might be a great opportunity if putting in to exhibit in some craft shows, maybe an annual Christmas sale. Some of your energy that you can bring to that environment. Same might go for a night market. Whereas if you're dealing more with fine art galleries, potentially even museums, if your skill's at a level that you can do recreations of historical pieces or reparations. The attitude in the scene, as unfortunate as it might be, is very much a business-centered attitude. It really does matter when you're doing your CV. You want to use particular types of fonts. You want it to look professional. You want to have the right font size. You need correct spacing. But most importantly, you need everything to be completely uniform. At the end of the day, art is perception. I'm a woodcarver. I have a piece up behind me there. I'm really proud of what I do, but at the end of the day, it's a piece of wood. It started as a log. It's actually less of a log now. The value is in the understanding of the work and skill that has gone into it. And that's the case with all art. You might be the world's most fantastic painter, but at the end of the day, you have paint on a canvas. Where does that extra value come from? What can you bring to that perception? You have to remember, as an artist, you are part of that equation. It's not just your artwork. You are part of what people are buying. People are buying your artwork because they want a piece of you. They want a piece of your creativity, of your story, of your journey. They love what you do. They don't just love your work. When you're going into the business world, the same thing applies. You might make the best, phenomenal sculptures, but if you are unreliable, you're not going to get calls. Nobody's going to take your work. You're not going to be accepted into exhibitions because the last 14 that you said yes you would be there, you never went. As an artist, you have to remember perception is key. I'm not saying to skew that perception, to lie, but rather you want to make every effort possible that they are getting straight to the correct perception of the value you can bring and of who you are to work with as a person. First impressions are the most important. Think of your CV as your first impression, because realistically, most of the time your CV is going to be sent to people you've never met and probably never will meet. What do you want to get across to them? That you're happy and fun, bubbly, that your work is extremely colorful? Do you want to go for more of a professional business? Everyone you're dealing with in the art community, whether they are a curator, a gallery owner, an art writer, a journalist, a radio interviewer, a photographer that you work with, the key there is you work with them. Everybody has as much work to do as you do. You know, if you want to make it, there's a lot of work, and most of the work isn't the fun creating. For some of us, it may only be 20% of the work we do, and the other 80% of the time, it's all supporting work, it's all administrative stuff, paperwork, all that stuff that some of us probably don't enjoy too much. So whenever you're dealing with other professionals in your field, try to make it easy for them. The easier you can make their job, the more likely they are to help you out in return. The more likely that you're going to get a phone call. So think about which ways you can make your CV more functional. For example, maybe you have a television spot, you know, CBC. Well, obviously you're going to put that on your CV. That's a pretty monumental thing, especially if you're an emerging artist. But don't just put it there. Put the link there. If it's a document you've digitally sent to them, they can click on the link and it will take them straight there. Don't just list it. Make it accessible. Make it easy for them. As much as the more creative ones in the arts really have no interest in doing something more formal like an Artist CV, it really is important. There are so many incredible opportunities out there. Almost all of them require you to submit your Artist CV. They want to see what you've accomplished so far as an artist. They want to know what experience you have. They want to know where you're at. Many opportunities I've come across have relied on submitting my Artist CV. Grants for funding, paid residencies, being in curated exhibitions, work for competitions. Ironically, more places have wanted an Artist CV from me than actual images of work that I've done. It really just brings home how much weight your Artist CV actually has. If you guys are interested, please just let me know. I'd be more than happy to bring out my own Artist CV, do a breakdown over the different categories, what I found works for me, and what might work for you to help you get your own living document up and running and put your best foot out there. Think of it as you would your business card. You might have normal ones that you hand out to people who are just vaguely interested, but that card is something to remember you by. It's a way that they can get in touch with you. It's a way they can find out more, perhaps reach out and purchase something from you. Think of your Artist CV as a deluxe version of that. It's something you're going to hand to people who you know need more than just your business card. They already have an interest in you and they want to find out more. This is your opportunity. Make it easy for them. Give them a list of everything they want to know. Make sure it has information to get in touch with you. Make sure it's not something they also need your business card to go with. Any information you have on your business card have on your artist CV. Don't just have your name up there. If you're submitting to something more reputable or more local, include your mailing address, put your telephone number, include your email address, put your website link, have a list of your social media accounts with links to check them out. Like I said earlier, make things easy for people. Personally, unless somebody specifically asks for only an artist CV, I'll actually take my artist CV and I'll put it with my portfolio in a single PDF file. This way they're not just receiving a track record of my exhibitions, my gallery showings, my residencies, my awards, my publications. I have that included, but once you just scroll down a little bit in the document, I have my portfolio right there so they can check it out. They don't have to go searching. They don't have to find my website and click through the different pictures to learn things. I have my best photographs and my best works already there right after the CV. All they have to do is just scroll down 2 or 3 inches and it's right there. Remember, make it easy for them. Chances are they might not want to see the work, they might not care, it might just be another resume to them. But can you afford to take that chance? Can you afford to not get your work in front of somebody? And the reality is, you don't know everybody's networks. Most of the best opportunities I've received have come through somebody else that I didn't get in touch with. I remember a few years ago I was doing a residency here locally. It was a paid residency, but it wasn't very long. It was only about 2 weeks. Fantastic opportunity, great location. I'm so very thankful I had it. When I reached out to them to officially accept, I included everything they could possibly need. They already had my CV. I gave them my artist bio and my statement, my portfolio of pictures, all in a single file. In the email, I let them know that if there's anything I can do to help them out, if they need to write a story, more photographs, promotional material, I am more than happy to help, and I have everything all ready for them. A few weeks later, I got a phone call from CBC. They were doing a piece on the residency, and they had a very short time frame. They needed to write this piece and get it out. He needs photographs and a write-up sent to him within the next 3 minutes. They had a short deadline. That's nothing I could have predicted. I have no idea what was going on their side of things. But because I had previously reached out that I could potentially help make their jobs easier for them, I was the person they called. So when they published their article about this residency and the 12 artists who were taking part, it was photographs of my work. The other 11 or 12 artists there were probably more established, but because I took the extra steps and I reached out to them and let them know that I could help make their life easier, I was the person that got the phone call. When he called, I was able to deliver. I wasn't home at the time. I didn't have Wi-Fi access. I didn't have my laptop, but I had made sure everything's all ready to go in an email. If you guys are interested, definitely let me know below in the comments. I have a number of things I do and I keep on me at all times to make sure that I'm always prepared for any opportunities. You never know when these opportunities will present themselves. So anyways guys, thanks for sticking around. This is my first time doing a video on YouTube, so I hope it turned out alright. If there's anything else you want me to cover in regards to entrepreneurship as an artist, please just let me know in the comments. Be more than happy to help you guys out, because at the end of the day, you can make the best product in the world, but if you have no way to get it out there, to sell it, if there's no way that people know that you have these pieces, you're never gonna sell them. So hopefully you guys can learn from my mistakes, and I'll see you guys in the next video.